Okay, so today I want to talk about advertising, really between Google ads and Facebook ads for real estate agents, really trying to identify the benefits and disadvantages for each. By the way, if you haven't met me yet, my name is Emmanuel. I am the founder and senior brand strategist over here at Square One Group, where our mission is really to help you identify your expertise and then help you scale your real estate business with systems. All right, so I recently got asked, what is the big difference between utilizing Google ads and Facebook ads in a conversation I was having with a real estate agent. We were discussing ad budget, ad strategy, and then she was having a bit of a hard time really understanding the difference between advertising on Google versus advertising on Facebook. And really based on that conversation, I decided to make a video for you guys because I'm pretty sure many of you guys are probably struggling with this exact same question as well, especially if you're starting to dabble into real estate lead generation using one of these ad platforms or one of these really big websites. Because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure you're trying to figure out which one will give you the fastest and cheapest return on investment. All right, first let's start with a big difference between the two. But despite both of them being these massive tech companies, they both own a slew of different properties that you can advertise on. Let's start with Google. Now, obviously there's google.com, the search engine itself, and the ads under the search results, those are ads that you can pay for to make your website appear under the search results. And of course, they have a bunch of other different properties associated to Google, like image ads or display ads. They're otherwise known as banner ads. You kind of see them on other people's websites. There's also YouTube for video ads, shopping for products, and of course, Google Local for your business pages, just to name a few. Now, I should also add that Google is constantly rolling out new products on a regular basis. So as of this recording, these are probably the most useful for you right now. And then we have Facebook. And in Facebook, there's really two main advertising machines that are really driving that platform or that company. Specifically, Facebook itself, and of course, Instagram. Now, I should also give a quick shout, a small attribution shout to Facebook also because they are doing banner ads, but for the sake of today's video, I'm not really gonna dive too much into it. Okay, now let's start answering this question, which is, which one is the best of the two? And I will preface this next part of this video really by saying that if you're looking for the cheapest, I'm not gonna answer that because one, cost is relative based on the ad and not the platform. And what I mean by that specifically is that your cost per acquisition, your cost to acquire a brand new client or a brand new lead for that matter, is really based on the message that you provide in this platform and how good you are at solving your client's problems. And number two, it's that when you start with too small of a budget, your ads, they're gonna give you crap results no matter what platform that you decide to run with. So I really like to use the analogy of paying for postcards to mail to my 100,000 farm addresses and only sending out 10 or 20 postcards. The same rules apply. If the budget's too small, the reach is gonna be too small, and then it's just gonna end up being a massive waste of money and time on your end. What you really need to be focusing on when we're talking about spend or budget is really trying to create a baseline to start with a reasonable budget. But I digress. In any case, let's cut to the chase. If you were to ask me which one of the two I would actually recommend, I'd be honest with you and I'd say both. And the reality is having an omni-channel strategy utilizing both Google and Facebook really works the best. But if you're on the fence and you really don't have that big of a budget to be advertising on both Google and Facebook, then really the way to answer this question of which one you should be spending your money on to advertise is really by asking yourself the question about your leads. Are they problem aware or are they solution aware? And once you've been able to identify that, the next step really is trying to figure out what type of value do I have already or can I easily create that I could dangle as a potential lead magnet that is risk averse, meaning a potential lead will look at what you're offering and it's something that they need. They wouldn't mind giving you their information for. And then once you've been able to answer that question, Then the next really question to ask is, what type of value can you dangle, or can you easily create to dangle to this potential lead that is risk averse? Meaning, what can you create or give them? What type of value can you give them that they wouldn't mind giving up their contact information for? Something that is super low risk. Like, for example, a PDF or a video or a webinar, something like that. Here's the basic rule of thumb that I usually default to in trying to answer this question. It's really that Google is great for educating, but Facebook is excellent for indoctrinating. And let me explain really quick what I mean by that. If a customer is trying to educate themselves on a problem, then chances are they're likely going to be searching on Google or on YouTube to find the answer to said question. So if you have a great resource that you can kind of use to educate this potential lead on their specific problem, then create an ad and link it to that piece of value, that piece of content. Conversely, Facebook, on the other hand, in my opinion, is really great at educating, but even better at indoctrinating. Now, in advertising, there's this rule. It's called the marketing rule of sevens. And it essentially means that a potential customer must see a message or advertisement from you at least 7 times before they will be provoked to take action. Facebook does an excellent job of remarketing you to your lead so that you keep showing up all around them while they're browsing the internet, and then they start really remembering who you are. Really, at the end of the day, guys, if you're going to be starting to dabble with advertising, specifically picking between Google or Facebook, if you're starting, then in my opinion, I would actually recommend just going all in on Facebook. And granted, it's simply because the education portion might not be as strong as Google, but the indoctrination, the remarketing portion is pretty powerful. And it's gonna be your fastest and quickest and easiest way to get to 7 impressions. Now, if you found some value from this video and you want to talk shop a little bit more about it, got a free Facebook group, gonna leave it in the description below. And if you really enjoyed all the cool stuff that I just mentioned, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. But aside from that, highly recommend you check out this video right here. Have a great day.